On a high hill where the winds of Iberia howled through stone ravines stood Numantia, a small city with an iron spirit. By day, its walls gleamed red like heated metal. By night, they looked like a divine fortress hidden among the stars. The people used to say, "As long as the fire in our hearths burns, Rome shall not enter." And for many years, they were right. Numantia stood on a lonely plateau above the plains of Celtiberia, its stone houses clinging to the hillside like stubborn survivors of some ancient storm. Travelers swore they felt something unusual in the air around the city. Tension, a force, as if the land itself remembered the decades of resistance and refused to bow. For 20 years, Rome had tried to break this small hilltop settlement. For 20 years, Numantia endured. Legends were already forming in distant cities. Numantia, where the Romans bleed and the mountains do not yield. No one imagined that the city's final chapter would become one of the most tragic stories in ancient history. The year was 134 BC. In the markets of Celtiberia, merchants spoke in whispers. Scipio is coming. The same Scipio who burned Carthage. Rome finally sends its greatest lion. Deep within Numantia, a council of elders gathered. The oldest among them, worn by decades of war, lifted his trembling hand. If Scipio comes, he brings not merely an army, but an idea. Rome wants to end our story, not with a battle, but with erasure. Silence fell. The youngest warrior, Virios, barely 24, stood up. Let Rome erase the world, but Numantia never. So the city prepared for the final trial. One spring morning, dust rose in the south. The Roman army was approaching, heavy as fate, inevitable as time itself. At its head rode a man whose name arrived before he did, Publius Cornelius Scipio Aemilianus, destroyer of Carthage. He looked at the hilltop city and said quietly, "We shall not take it by the sword, we shall take it by time." Then he gave his order, "Build walls around their walls." And the Romans began to stretch a ring of stone, earth, and iron around Numantia. Towers rose like giants from the soil. At night, the hammering echoed through the valley. By day, the air hummed with Roman discipline. By evening, a great serpent of fortifications coiled around the hill. Numantia saw it, and for the first time in years, the city fell silent. From the Numantine walls, warriors watched with helpless, burning fury. One said, "They build prisons faster than we can destroy them." Another replied, "Then we will die free faster than they can enslave us." Months passed slowly. The Numantines launched raids, quick, desperate, sudden like mountain winds. But the Roman ring grew faster than it could be broken. The river was cut off. The forests ahead were cleared. The roads were seized and guarded. Scipio was unshakable. Not a single sack of grain, not a single drop of water. And Numantia began to starve. At first the bread vanished, then the stored grain. People boiled tree bark into bitter broth. Stone houses once warm with feasts now smelled of sickness. But still no one spoke of surrender. At dusk the elders gathered and repeated, "We are Numantia. We shall not be slaves." The starving city sent emissaries to Scipio, offering peace on honorable terms. Scipio listened. He respected their bravery, but his orders were absolute. Rome does not negotiate with legends. Rome ends them. He demanded unconditional surrender, chains, and total submission. The emissaries returned to the council. When the terms were spoken aloud, even the weakest voices rose. "We will not kneel." Winter 133 BC. Snow came early. It covered the Roman camps in white blankets. It buried Numantia in silence. Inside the city, fuel was gone. The last wooden tables were chopped for fire. Some houses were burned just to keep children alive a few more days. Yet on the walls, warriors still stood watch. Not because it helped, but because pride demanded it. Their captain said, "As long as one of us stands, Numantia stands." Some days only 3 or 4 kept watch, but they stood. When fewer than 1,000 citizens remained, the surviving elders called a final assembly. The hall was bitterly cold. Torchlight flickered over hollow faces. "We have reached the end," one elder whispered. "But it will not be Rome that ends us," replied another. Their decision was unanimous. Death before chains. Before dawn, the strongest remaining warriors gathered for one final attack. A desperate breakout attempt, not to win, but to die with weapons in their hands. They charged the Roman lines, gaunt, starving, burning with last strength. The Romans, shocked by their ferocity, fought carefully, almost respectfully. When the last Numantine warrior fell, a Roman centurion murmured, "What kind of people fight like this on the edge of death?" Scipio answered quietly, "People worthy of history." The remaining citizens set fire to their own homes. Black smoke rose into the sky like the soul of Numantia itself. People embraced, prayed, sang ancient songs. Some drank poison. Others stepped into the flames willingly. The Romans watched in stunned silence. They had never seen anything like this. No surrender, no begging. Only dignity, terrible, tragic, unbreakable. When the Romans finally entered, they found only ashes and a few dying survivors. Scipio walked through the ruins, silent for a long time. A centurion approached. "General, shall we record this as a victory?" Scipio looked at the burned streets, the collapsed homes, the bodies that had chosen freedom over Rome. He whispered, "Write that Rome conquered the stones. The people conquered us." Numantia was erased from the earth, but it rose as an immortal symbol of resistance. To this day, the world remembers the name of a small city that chose death over surrender.